that this country will be so far if we fix this problem called tribalism. Tungekuwa tumeendelea sana. Our inchi, sijui Malaysia, sijui Singapore would be behind us. My name is Mabonga, and I am a public policy consultant and also a civic educator at GPAC. And this morning I want to talk about waging war against tribalism in Kenya. Waging war against tribalism in Kenya. Na ningependa kuanza kwa kusema ya kwamba ukabila utatumaliza tusipoimaliza. Now, Kenya is a great country. So great that I can't describe the breadth of its greatness. But we have this giant that has stared before our fathers, and now is staring before us. And I always tell so many people out there that, you know, a battle that defeated your father is not going to be an easy battle for you. Ile vita ambayo imeshinda baba yako, usikuja hapo wewe uone wewe ni kijana, uone wewe ni mwerevu sana, that you will just walk over it and, you know, win over it. No. You will have to maybe put twice effort to deal with it. And so tribalism has been an issue that has battled our fathers. I'm a millennial, close to the Gen Zs, and because this problem defeated our fathers, we, the young generation, have to look at it with a more in-depth eye so that we can know how we can fix it. I love what the psalmist says, King David says that how good and pleasant it is when brothers live together in unity. That when people live together in unity, it is a beautiful thing. And that is what I believe our fathers and even us will want. But we will miss out this beauty if we don't understand that this is a battle that defeated them or has been difficult to them. And so as we tackle it, or as we engage in this battle, then we must be keen enough to know how we are going to deal with it until we deal with this enemy. And tribalism can be looked at, like the Bible Goliath. You have read that story again and again. But there's a part of that story that I really love, where the Bible says that Goliath used to come every morning and evening to torment these people. He comes and stands on top of the mountain and says, "Come on, I'm here. Who will deal with me? Who will battle with me?" That is the account that we are told of these men. Until when David learnt of the secret that dealing with this giant is not a matter of being heavy, having the right ammunition, or, having the right tactic. It needed him to seek a deeper understanding on how to finish the giant. And he went and realized that the only thing that will help me to set off this thing ahead of me is to seek God, to know how to deal with this enemy. And of course we see how God directs him, and he gets only a few stones, and you can imagine a man who was not killed with a sword, not killed with those weapons, is now finished with just a small piece of stone. And so when it comes to tribalism in this country, we cannot assume that we are so bright, that we are so clever to know how to deal with this thing. This is something that we must get to the root of it and be able to fix it as it is. And tribalism is basically when we give, loyalty, allegiance, and, extra communion to a people of a particular tribe or ethnicity over others. And of course it comes through discrimination and, prioritization of others over others. The thing of we versus them, or us versus them. It is me, my tribe, then versus their tribe. And Kenya is made of so many tribes. And because of that, we need to be a united people. And let me tell us, and that's the reason why I'm so keen on this topic that I'm talking about. that this country will be so far if we fix this problem called tribalism. Tungekuwa tumeendelea sana. Our inji, sijui Malaysia, sijui Singapore will be behind us if we dealt with this problem. And because we have not been keen on dealing with this problem, subsequent governments have not been able to experience, the developments they will want, because the tribal factor has always been at the center stage of our development. The tribal factor has always been at the center stage of how we treat each other. The tribal factor has always been at the center of which projects to put in this area and which project to put in this area. And that has been our problem, our biggest problem. And so we need to fix it. Now, why tribalism is bad? Because one, it creates what we call conflict and violence. Where people are tribal, will always have violence. Because I see that group as not me. For instance, I am a Luya. I see somebody who is maybe a Kamba or a Kikuyu or a Jaluo as an enemy. He's not like me. Or those people from those tribes, they see me as somebody who is not of them. And that is how conflict and violence comes. And we know of 207. Or the conflict that we had. And we know of many other conflicts that we have seen even in our regional borders because of that. It also leads to what we call political manipulation. Rogue politicians will manipulate people whose ideology in the mindset is tribal. They'll take advantage of you. You will stop reasoning because you want to reason as a tribe. People cannot make their independent choice because they want to reason as a tribe. We'll also have what we call discrimination and exclusion. That people of a particular tribe will be favored over those of this other tribe. When we have projects, we'll have projects that are excluding some regions because people of this tribe are perceived to be the people in government. And those of the other tribes are perceived to be on the opposition side. And that is not the country that we want. That's not the country that we want. That we can have exclusion of projects in particular areas over particular areas. And finally, I'll say this. If we are going to fix tribalism in our country, we must speak in one language. And one language is not talking about Kiswahili or English. One language is that we must speak for ideals. We must speak for what is right. We must speak for what is just. We must speak collectively without anything. We must speak against injustice. We must speak against police killings. We must speak against, stealing of public money. We must speak collectively. We must have one language for us to stop this tribalism. We must speak against abuse of public offices. We must speak against the oppression of the church and religious organizations. We want a country that is united. We want a country where we can speak and we can be unified by the ideals that are written in our chapter 6 of our constitution. That is the Kenya I want to see. That is the Kenya majority of us want to see. That is the country that we are pushing for. And we can only achieve that when we finally come to this one conclusion. That we can only be as united if we remain anchored to a God who is not us. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe. That's a way of supporting us and supporting what we do.